Je dois être tout à fait honnête avec vous tous, mec. Vous savez que je ne suis pas la plus grande rivale du format, tout ce truc du 300, ce n'est pas ma tasse de thé. Mais, bon sang, Paige Bueckers a fait un spectacle absolument incroyable. Paige Bueckers a fait un spectacle aujourd'hui et ses débuts inégalés. Je n'ai pas été diverti par les matchs précédents, Kelsey Mitchell et les autres. Mais ce dernier match de ce soir, je dois dire que j'ai été quelque peu diverti, principalement parce que Paige Bueckers était occupée et se montrait, et elle a prouvé que Paige Bueckers était la meilleure arrière-shooteuse de la WNBA.
The league was thrown into chaos as questions began spreading about Paige Bueckers' so-called dominance and unmatched status. What started as quiet talk quickly turned into open frustration, reaching even the league's top leadership. This wasn't just about one player anymore. It raised serious concerns about fairness and honesty in how the game is being presented to fans. A system meant to highlight real talent now appears to be giving a distorted picture. Sources say Adam Silver was furious, seeing something that risked damaging the competitive values the WNBA claims to stand for. The truth was becoming clear. What fans were watching may not have been as genuine as it seemed.
Principalement parce que Paige Bueckers s'activait et se montrait, et qu'elle a prouvé que Paige Bueckers était la meilleure arrière-shooteuse de la WNBA. Point final. Elle est meilleure que Kelsey Mitchell. Elle est meilleure qu'Alicia Gray. Elle est meilleure que quiconque au poste d'arrière. Paige Bueckers est meilleure qu'elle. Caitlin Clark, elle n'est pas au niveau de Caitlin Clark. Nous savons tous que Caitlin Clark est la meilleure meneuse de jeu de la ligue. Mais Paige Bueckers est certainement la meilleure arrière de la ligue. Elle a fait le spectacle pour ses débuts sans égal. Il faut qu'on décortique tout ça sur Keep the Vision. N'oubliez pas d'aimer, de commenter, de vous abonner, de partager la chaîne, d'activer la notification forme de cloche et faire la notification de la vidéo.
The real problem starts with the unrivaled format itself. The 3-on-3 setup, as many experienced analysts openly admit, isn't for everyone. It's more of an exhibition than the high-pressure, strategic 5-on-5 game that WNBA fans are used to. This isn't just a matter of taste. The difference directly affects how players perform and how fans judge them. When someone excels in this limited setting, it's easy to mistake that success for proof of their true WNBA level. That confusion can lead to unfair player evaluations and unrealistic expectations from fans.
La Ligue a fait un spectacle pour ses débuts inégalés. Il faut qu'on décortique tout ça. Bienvenue dans Keep the Vision. N'oubliez pas d'aimer, de commenter et de vous abonner. De partager la chaîne, d'activer la notification par cloche et de faire la notification de la vidéo. Entrons directement dans le vif du sujet. On ne va pas jouer à des jeux. Paige Bueckers pour ses débuts inégalés. 24 points, 6 passes décisives, aucune perte de balle, 5 rebonds de contre. Elle a été absolument dominante pour commencer ce match. Paige Bueckers était particulièrement douée, mec. Elle était au top ce soir. Je ne vais pas vous mentir. Je sais que ses fans essayent de faire de ça un truc, Paige contre Caitlin. Je ne pense pas que Paige en ait fait assez pour sa saison de débutant.
This format is built to favor a very specific style of player. It's mostly half-court play with a heavy focus on one-on-one scoring, which is very different from the fast, team-driven flow of a full WNBA game. In this setting, certain skills naturally stand out, letting some players score and create in ways that would be much harder against stronger defenses and full team systems in 5-on-5 basketball. The issue isn't Paige's talent. The real question is whether this format truly measures a player's complete game or simply highlights a narrow set of strengths that look bigger than their overall impact.
Je sais que ses fans essayent de faire de ça un truc à la Paige contre Caitlin. Je ne pense pas que Paige en ait fait assez en termes de sa saison de recrue. Elle n'est tout simplement pas à la hauteur, mais je suis toujours fan du jeu de Paige. Et ce format lui convient vraiment. Paige est une joueuse de demi-terrain, du genre à jouer en 1 contre 1. Donc Unrivaled correspond vraiment à son style de jeu. Donc je pense que quelqu'un comme elle va s'en sortir, comme certaines joueuses comme Marina Maber, qui est une bonne joueuse en 1 contre 1. Elle va briller dans un environnement inégalé, et Alicia Gray, comme certaines personnes, va briller dans ce contexte. Je ne pense...
On the surface, Paige Bueckers' unrivaled debut looked dominant. She put up 24 points, added 6 assists without a single turnover, grabbed 5 rebounds, and blocked 2 shots. Those numbers suggest total control and a player at the top of her game. But stats like these mean something different in a 3-on-3 setting than they would in a full WNBA matchup. It was an impressive performance, no doubt, Yet the context matters to judge her true standing and overall impact on the league. The stage on which those numbers were produced can't be ignored.
Cela a un impact sur l'effet d'un match à 5 contre 5. Vous voyez ce que je veux dire? J'ai l'impression que Paige Bueckers était la meilleure arrière-shooteuse de la WNBA avant cela. Je ne dis pas qu'elle est la meilleure arrière-shooteuse de la ligue à cause d'un match à 3 contre 3. Mettons ça de côté. Mais regardons ce qu'elle a fait ce soir, car elle était absolument géniale, mec.
Eh bien, vous savez ce qui est bien d'avoir McDonald's sur le terrain avec Bueckers?
Bakis, un troisième, alors Baker consécutif.
Mais ces deux équipes, oui,
Que je veux dire, ce genre de choses, elle va pouvoir faire ça n'importe quand. Il n'y en a pas. Il n'y a littéralement que 3 défenseurs, donc il n'y a pas de force.
The loud claim that Paige Bueckers is the best shooting guard in the WNBA, no debate, immediately caught attention, especially when it was followed by an important qualifier. She may have looked better than players like Kelsey Mitchell or Alisha Gray in that specific format. But even the person making the statement admitted it wasn't because of her unrivaled performance. That contradiction highlights the real problem. An exhibition showing is being used to support broad claims about dominance in 5-on-5 league play. It's easy to see why that kind of reasoning would frustrate league officials who care about fair and accurate player evaluation.
L'année dernière, elle nous a fait nous inquiéter en nous disant « Attendez, qu'est-ce qui se passe avec Aliyah Boston? Elle a l'air terrible ici. » Mais Aliyah Boston a intensifié son jeu et a joué solidement aujourd'hui. Paige, attends. Allons-y. Allons-y. Léa Boston a marqué 18 points, 9 sur 15. Tiffany Hayes a marqué 20 points. Kelsey Plum a été horrible ce soir. 5 sur 17, 2 sur 10 à 3 points. Elle a été complètement dominée ce soir. Kelsey Plum a été complètement dominée ce soir. Elle s'est fait avoir. Elle s'est fait avoir. Paige Bueckers, 7 sur 15, 1 sur 2 à 3 points, 5 sur 5 au lancer franc, 24 points, 5 rebonds, 6 passes décisives, 6 passes.
A big reason Paige looked so dominant was the matchup itself. She went up against Kelsey Plum and clearly had the advantage. The breakdown was straightforward. Plum was at a size disadvantage and struggled to handle Paige's strength in mid-range scoring. This shows how, in a 3-on-3 setup, certain matchups can be heavily tilted and lead to inflated performances. While those moments can look overwhelming, dominating an undersized defender in this format doesn't automatically mean the same result would carry over across the WNBA, where every opponent brings a high level of skill and toughness.
Mais ouais, mec, Paige Bueckers a détruit Kelsey Plum. C'était une raclée de Paige Bueckers à Kelsey Plum. Je veux dire, elle a tout simplement dominé. Mais attendez. Sur une autre note, je pense qu'Harry a été blessé dans ce match. Je pense qu'Harry s'est blessé. Donc si Harry s'est blessé, prions pour elle. Je pense qu'il s'est passé quelque chose qui l'a blessé.
The key point driving the backlash is the claim that Paige Bueckers' unrivaled performances don't come close to carrying the same meaning as production in a real 5-on-5 WNBA game. The gap between these two formats is at the heart of the issue and likely what would frustrate Adam Silver the most. When fans are led to believe that exhibition-level dominance automatically reflects true WNBA impact, it creates a false picture of talent and competition. That kind of thinking risks minimizing the intensity, difficulty, and value of regular season and playoff basketball, where results truly matter.
Votre équipe qui a 19 ans et qui domine ce pick and roll que vous avez tous, cette connaissance que vous développez très tôt, parler un peu de Milonga et de sa contribution, de sa domination dans la raquette.
C'est juste difficile de croire qu'elle n'a que 19 ans et que l'avenir est si prometteur pour elle. C'est comme si c'était le pire qu'elle puisse faire et elle est déjà incroyable. Et je pense que ce que j'ai appris d'elle, c'est son QI pour le jeu, à quel point elle est intelligente et à quel point elle anticipe. Et être capable d'être aussi athlétique, d'être aussi grand, de défendre un but sur 5, de marquer dans la raquette, de marquer à l'extérieur, de marquer à mi-distance. Mais je pense que son meilleur atout, c'est sa passe. Donc juste pouvoir avoir tous ces aspects chez une joueuse à un si jeune âge et quelqu'un qui...
Even with all the excitement around Unrivaled, attempts by some fans and analysts to start a Paige Bueckers versus Caitlin Clark debate were quickly dismissed. Many informed observers agree that Paige's rookie WNBA season doesn't come close to matching the level needed to challenge Clark's proven dominance. That reality Check cuts through the hype of one strong exhibition, showing and highlights the difference between a flashy performance and a sustained record in true WNBA competition. The unrivaled format clearly plays to Paige's strengths. It gives her the perfect space to operate in half-court, one-on-one situations where her skill set shines. This isn't a criticism of her talent. It's simply an acknowledgement that some players are especially well suited to this environment, where defensive pressure and full team systems are limited compared to 5-on-5 basketball. Because of that, her standout moments need to be viewed in context. The setting naturally boosts certain abilities, which can make overall impact look bigger than it would be in a standard WNBA game. That doesn't make the plays any less impressive, but it does mean they don't automatically translate to league-wide dominance. Paige isn't the only one benefiting from this setup. Players like Marina Mabrey and Alisha Gray are also expected to thrive in an unrivaled style format. This reinforces the idea that the format itself favors specific skill sets, rather than serving as a true measure of overall WNBA superiority. The eye-catching highlights, like the sharp pound dribble into a sidestep 3 at the buzzer, were undeniably exciting. But they are best understood as great moments within a tailored exhibition setting, not definitive proof of dominance across the full demands of the WNBA game. These highlights showed just how skilled and quick she is, especially against the looser defenses that come with 3-on-3 play. With only 3 defenders on the court, there's more space and far less help defense, which makes it easier for individual talent to stand out. That freedom simply doesn't exist in the tight, well-organized defenses seen in full 5-on-5 WNBA games. Other players benefited from this setup as well. Aaliyah Boston, for example, looked much better than she did last year. She finished with 18 points and 7 rebounds, a clear jump from her earlier struggles. That improvement helped show how much the unrivaled format can change how effective a player appears. What looks like major growth may partly be the result of the environment, not a complete overhaul of a player's 5-on-5 game. The numbers also tell an important story about the level of competition Paige faced. Kelsey Plum had a rough night, shooting just 5 of 17 overall and 2 of 10 from 3. She was clearly outplayed, which makes the matchup very one-sided. That imbalance adds context to Paige's strong stat line and suggests her performance was helped by going against an opponent who was struggling, not by facing constant elite WNBA-style defensive pressure. The most controversial moment came from an analyst's blunt admission. I would have taken Dominique Malona with the number 1 pick over Paige, coming right after such an eye-catching exhibition performance. That comment raises serious questions about Paige's overall draft value and long-term upside when compared to other emerging stars. This all points to the need for deeper evaluation beyond flashy exhibition stats. It suggests that true, well-rounded talent, like Dominique Malanga's, can easily be overlooked amid the hype of a 3-on-3 showcase. The reasoning for favoring Malanga over Paige is strong. At just 19, she's described as having immense potential with a high basketball IQ, elite athleticism, and a rare ability to defend all 5 positions. She can score inside, outside, and from mid-range, and her passing is widely regarded as her strongest skill. That combination makes her a versatile, complete player, an almost total contrast to Paige's specialized dominance in the unrivaled format, which further calls into question the competitive credibility of the exhibition. The analyst also raised eyebrows over certain player selections, like Ari McDonald. Her inclusion drew disbelief, with the remark that she was at the unemployment line last season and the sarcastic comment, "Y'all just giving anybody spots." Statements like these hint at a possible dilution of talent in the unrivaled setup, which undermines the perceived level of competition and, by extension, the meaning of any player's standout performance in that environment. Even unexpected events and the physical toll of the game make unrivaled an unreliable measure. A potential injury to Ari during play, which required immediate concern for her recovery, is a reminder that even a seemingly lower-stakes exhibition carries real risks. These unpredictable moments reinforce the idea that Unrivaled operates as its own unique, sometimes volatile stage, separate from the structured, high-stakes competition of the WNBA. Paige Bucher's domination over Kelsey Plum, while accurate on paper, actually highlights the misleading nature of the unrivaled format. This wasn't a matchup of equals. Plum was overmatched and struggling, making Paige's overwhelming performance more about the context than a true test of elite competition. Wins like this, though impressive individually, don't reflect the type of evenly matched, high-level play that Adam Silver expects in the WNBA. The main issue, and likely the source of Silver's frustration, is how unrivaled can mislead fans. These 3-on-3 exhibitions favor specific styles and sometimes feature weaker opposition, yet they're often treated as proof of overall league dominance. That perception can undermine the credibility of the WNBA. Paige isn't at fault, but the show's design risks creating a false impression that can diminish the value of real, hard-fought 5-on-5 basketball. The central question remains, does Unrivaled provide a legitimate measure of WNBA talent, or does it simply create an illusion of supremacy for certain players in a highly specialized, less challenging setting? The league can't allow flashy exhibitions to overshadow the true rigor of WNBA competition. Adam Silver's reaction underscores the need for transparency, making sure fans understand the difference between a carefully curated spectacle and the real demands of top-tier 5-on-5 basketball.